shocked out of wariness. He allowed these thoughts to spill through his conscious mind. Then he caught himself and threw up the blank mental wall all defense people were taught to use. But not until the man chuckled behind his mask and said, "I agree on all counts, but you have to admit that we clocked you perfectly, Mr. Kendall. The risk we took in kidnapping your wife was well worthwhile." "On the contrary, one life is of little consequence." "I'm sorry you feel that way," the man said with mocking lightness in his voice. "Let me describe the manner in which your wife will die. First, we'll strip her naked." "What is it you're after?" Kendall snapped. The man's chuckle was even more pronounced. "You're right, of course, in surmising I'm a Centaurian, and you're quite familiar with the way our Cold War works, how the balance of power has been maintained these last 100 years. The balance is tipped in our favor." "Of course, but we now intend, through you, to remedy that situation. You people are very ingenious in that you invent a total destruction-type weapon and then turn right around and conceive an absolute defense against it. We do the same, of course, or try to, but we find ourselves at all times slightly behind you. A sad situation for we Centaurians, don't you think, Mr. Kendall?" "The chances of ever balancing us are remote." "Not so. Let me explain. Our great hope lies in obtaining the plans of your latest projectile. I think you call it Willie 7. "I know no such plans." Claire, lying defenseless against the obscene tortures of these soulless animals. "Let's not waste time with lies, Mr. Kendall. You've been working on the project." "The defense against Willie 7 is not perfected." The Centaurian leaned forward and snapped out the words in triumph. "It can't possibly be ready for use in less than 6 months, because the projectile involved a difficult combination of lethal germs and subsonic vibrations, the toughest you ever tackled." A deep sickness clawed at Kendall's stomach. The Centaurian had hit upon the truth, while still evidently unaware of Terran defense procedure. He didn't seem to know that the development of an offensive weapon was never allowed to proceed faster than the development of a defense against it. The theory being twofold, that defense was the most important element concerned, and that defense against our own weapons would probably function as safeguards against those of Centaurian origination. Also, the possibility of theft had been foreseen. To have the plans of a non-defensible weapon stolen would mark the end of terror. But in the case of Willie 7, the defensive unit had involved such problems that the defensive half of the project had lagged. "They'll give her drugs to sensitize the flesh and nerves of her body until her sufferings will be those of 10 people crowded into one skin. We want Willie 7, Mr. Kendall. We want it now." "I don't have access to the plans." The eyes were again baleful behind the mask. "Let's not waste time. You know very well we didn't launch this project, only to leave such important angles to chance." "But getting them out?" "You will take microfilms of the plans within the next 24 hours. We left a thumbnail-sized camera under your wife's pillow, in case you have need of it." "You thought of everything, didn't you?" Kendall said. "Everything except the one all-important point." "What is that?" "My wife could never be returned to me, because there would be no place to return her after you destroy this globe." "We're not fools. That phase of it has been well planned. You will apply for a 3-day vacation and meet our ship at a location in Yellowstone National Park. Your wife is already on her way to our planet. You will follow her in a second ship, you and the plans. After the annihilation of your world is accomplished, you will not find us ungrateful. You will both be sent to Venus to live out the rest of your lives in ease." "I only have your word for that." "It is enough." And Kendall knew, of course, that it was. The Centaurians would keep their word, mainly because breaking it after they'd obtained their objective would gain them nothing. They would keep their word because their propaganda department would insist. "And now," the Centaurian said, "I have stayed on this circuit long enough. Soon it will cause suspicion. A note will be delivered to you, giving the time and place of our meeting in Yellowstone." Kendall finished out his hours, and this was not strange. No need